Okay, we're gonna try this. This is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Let's do it again, Karena. Hello. Yeah. Hell, you know what? If we were not live, I probably would have said something else.
Let me turn my I had my MacBook going. I had my iPhone going.
That's true. I promise you, I had the same thing. The iPhone, iPad, and the computer. Just didn't make any sense at all. Any at all. And not sure if it's outside. Okay, it's me and you, and it's Tiffany. I'm not sure if everybody else is on. Because Tiffany and I were playing last night, and some settings were changed, and I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Well, no, everything's good. Hi, Tiffany. And she's telling me to rotate. This is a blooper situation.
Now you're sideways.
It's sideways, and it's not allowing me to do it, Tiffany. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. It's just going to have to be as it is. Hey, Deborah, cousin, it worked out. Did you go and pray for us? Is that what you did, Deborah? Hi, Kimberly. I've got family in the room. I think it was the prayers that went up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was. Well, welcome so much. And we're only 25 minutes shy.
It's okay.
Just
This
25.
was not us. We were on time. The enemy coming against what needs to be talked about.
Yes, we've got to rebuke that thing. Nobody has time.
Right.
Today, up half the night and trying to get things prepared. And I told you earlier, it was some situations, but it's all good. We're both here, and I'd like to welcome everybody for taking time out to come in and hang out with Karena and I. As I was saying before, being a conscious change coach is one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. Now, granted, I've always been that person that was coaching before it was called coaching. It's just that type of a thing, with family and friends, being that person with giving advice or whatnot. However, this one's a little bit different. It's even, goes a bit different than life coaching as well. It's just basically aligning up with what you were born to do and finding joy in that and helping others discover themselves. And it's different ways of going about that. And life happens and it takes us off of our beaten path of what we were going to do or what we always said we would do as that kid at 5 years old. When you get the question, what are you going to do when you grow up, Valerie? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to be a pilot. That's what I said. And then the next thing you know, I'm going to be a chef. All these things. However, you still end up doing them. You still have those dreams and things in your heart because you were born with them and it's intended to be done. However, if you follow suit to do that or not is pretty much up to you. But like I said, life happens and it throws us off of our path. And it's been a great thing meeting you. And I have to give kudos where they belong to Bernie, the originator over at Black Business Minded Women. That has been a great group to participate in. And of course, Sparrows, this is where I met Karena, not even 7 days ago. Not even 7. Has it been a week?
No.
Less than 6 days. Let's say 5, round out. So with that being said, it's an awesome network tool for Black business women that, it's just like a family and we get together, we share best practices and we keep each other supported. And it's darn near 9,000 of us over there. And amazingly, I've met some awesome women in the past several weeks, and it's to the point of where my messenger is out of control. Is out of control with connections and trying to engage with everyone. So that is what brought us here today, just thinking about and talking about life, and knowing that Karena and I, and it's going to be some other connections in the near future that will be joining here on Wisdom Wednesdays. So I can't keep anything to myself when I learn something. It's a responsibility to share. So why not bring Karena in all the way from Virginia? And I thought I was going to have to go and pick her up with, the fluke, the shenanigans, and it's not right unless there is some. You know, it's nice to laugh. Otherwise, it'd be a chaos up in here. So, again, thank you all for participating. I say hello to all of you, and it's going to be impossible to continue to say hello throughout. So, since we're already in the shade just a little bit, so what we're going to do is go ahead and launch in. And I've talked about what I do, and once I turn it over to Karena, she's going to share with you all what it is that she does and how she can benefit you, and we're going to do a side by side of what I do and how it's relative to what she does. And when she's coming from a credit coach, correct, Karena?
Yes. Yes.
She's a credit coach, and I don't think there's anybody anywhere that could not use assistance in that area. We all can use it. Like I said, Life University is huge. And most of our lives, we're not in the places where we want to be. We're always striving to greater and pushing and all of that. And our credit suffers sometimes. And it's because of things that are out of your control. Life happens. It's all about how you adjust and your attitude toward that, and X, Y's, and D's. So with that said, I'm going to kind of turn it over to Karena. And after she says all she has to say, and then, she's going to probably toss it back over to me, and we will just have a simple conversation. If there's questions that you have pertaining to your credit situations, by all means, just put it in the comments and go crazy with the love button. I want your finger to just get stuck on that love button, because it's going to take love and support, to get through everything that we have with crises in life. And share, do that, and whatever else you'd like to do. If there are comments that we don't get around to right away, trust me, we will. Even if it's on the back end, somebody's going crazy with that love button. You see it, Karena?
I do.
I think everybody in the room need to go crazy on that love button. I'm just saying. However, no further ado, I'm just going to turn it over to you, Karena. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you in the Sparrow world over here, because since it's coach to coach from a different world, and the different world is, you're from the credit side of the fence, I'm from the consciousness, the mind, and of course it's a terrible thing to waste, isn't it?
Yes.
We have to keep it strong, and it takes everything else that happens in our lives, but it starts with the mind and taking responsibilities to create ways of fixing what's broken in order to live in freedom every day. So that's my goal in life, to make sure everybody is happy and doing what we're born to do. It's your birthright. So Karena, it's all on you now.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Valerie, so much for inviting me on here. I am excited to be here. And yes, truly, we encountered some technical difficulties, no fault of either one of our own. But, a lot of times I know that when we are fought like that, to that degree, that it's going to be a very impactful meeting.
Absolutely.
So, I applaud you for really maneuvering through that with a smile, not being frustrated, at least not on the outside, and just going through with a positive attitude, and that to me just really shows the mindset that you have, not just saying things, but actually living what you're speaking. And so kudos to you on that. A lot of times I watch people. I watch how they interact and the things that they say, the things that they do. And your follow through is phenomenal, sister.
Thank you. I'll cry later. appreciate that.
And and I jotted down a couple of things that you said when you were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it very interesting. You said that, you said when you were young, you wanted to be a pilot and you wanted to be a chef.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even though no, in 2018, you're not a pilot and you're not a chef, um, literally, I really believe that what you're doing is taking people from one destination to the next destination. So really and truly, you are like a pilot, you know. And that's just really what I see. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. I
You
am
know,
a sparrow. That works. We're in flight either way. I
yeah.
appreciate that analogy.
So that just really, really touched my heart when you said that, because a lot of times there may be that specific thing that we have in mind, but things don't always work out that specific way. But if we look closely, and this is really just talking about the mind,
Yes.
we look closely, we're actually doing some of those things just in a different way. So, that's really amazing to me. So, I am Karena Calhoun. I am a money and credit coach. Um, I know a lot of times when I tell people that I'm a money and credit coach, they say, "Oh, you do credit repair." I don't. I do not do credit repair. I help individuals rebuild and restore their credit, but I mainly do it through the mind, with transforming the mind, your mindset on how you view your credit, your mindset on how you view your finances, your money, things of that nature. A lot of times we don't realize that we can have a mindset towards our finances that's not beneficial to us.
Yes.
And so a lot of times I will sit down and I will literally analyze an individual's financial situation. I look through their bank statements. I get deep down and dirty in it,
The truth. You
You
unveil it all.
Yes, I look at, spending habits, behaviors, things like that. What needs to be tweaked? What needs to be changed? A lot of times I will get an individual that would say, "Hey, Karena, I just, I make this amount of money, but I just don't seem to have any money at the end of the month." Actually, you do. It's in your mindset, how you view the money that you're getting, and being able to have that true strategy of how to alleviate that stress.
Could
Um,
you give an example of that?
Absolutely. Um, and I'll use myself. The way I started out with this was back in, I guess, about 2004, 2005. I was in the mortgage business and was seeing a lot of consumers trying to get loans to consolidate debt. And when I would look at their income and I would look at their bank statements, I could see that a lot of times they actually had the funds right there in front of them, but they didn't know how to really get a handle on that spending, how
Right.
to get a handle on making the most out of their credit. You can have credit, but it doesn't necessarily have to be debt.
Right.
You can have thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of credit, but it doesn't have to be debt. And so I sit down and I look at these individual statements and I write out a full analysis of the things that need to be done to get them to a better place. It can be a little trying because, this is someone going through your personal life, saying, "Hey, you probably should not go to Taco Bell as much." you,
Comes out.
you probably need to, and a lot of times these situations affect so many other situations. Eating out then not just affects, your bank account and the excess money that you're spending, but then you begin to see excess weight, being
Yeah.
gained. And so you begin to see how it's a domino effect. And so a lot of times when I meet with individuals, I go through this it's a holistic approach. And so
Right.
I have to kind of rope them in and sit down and say, listen, this is what we need to work on. But it's not just you need to make more money in order to be in a better place, but let's work with what we have.
May I interject?
Sure.
What comes to mind when I hear you paint that picture is conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
where you come from, and what's not been taught from childhood up. It's no different if you did a side by side of a child being brought up in a home that's not taught money management. So they're basically going to grow up doing what they see
Yes.
and thinking that's correct. And that's why it brings about strain when it comes to saving, when it comes to how to spend the money, not eating out versus going to the supermarket, those types of things. With another analogy being someone coming from the projects that is a genius at basketball or football. And then you have these $1 million contracts that they're thrown into without structure of how to spend that money. It's just like you can't do that. You got to
No.
have some training of how to spend what you have on top of making more of it. And that has been a downfall for a lot of us because we fall into that from time to time. We think we have it, we max out credit cards, the whole nine. So that's one of the things that comes to mind when I hear you say that, which falls back on the side of consciousness. Be mindful of how you're doing it and what you're doing it for. Where is it going to be in 5 years? How are you standing? So thank you for that point.
Absolutely. One thing that, and I kind of alluded to earlier was that we have to get out of the mindset of, I just need to make more money. Um, I think a lot of times uh, we think if we have a certain dollar amount, then we're going to be okay. And, we go and we get that raise or we get that better paying job, but we're really back in the same situation in about 6 to 9 months.
Wow.
You know, one of the first things that I ask people, can you pay a $500 emergency within, with your finances, with your money that you have in the bank without your family being thrown into a chaotic whirlwind? Or would you have to
There's a
borrow?
lot and not.
Right, $500, or would you have to borrow the money? Um, could you pay it and you may be okay? Or can you pay that $500 and for the most part not skip a beat? And that's just the first step, of really saving money. That's literally just the first step.
Right.
Um, there's, a lot of times people are not able to just simply pay a $500 emergency bill.
No, they just don't have it. And if you
Mhm.
just don't have it, it's about being constructive, strategizing how to get that. And even if you do have it, life happens. And when
Right,
life happens and then it wipes you out, then what?
right,
You have to look at the different types of resources. Who is that support system? Do you even have anybody in your family or a mentor, anybody, a friend that, has great money management skills?
right.
Anything at the time, my goodness, Google it. It's
Mhm.
ways around looking at those strategies. And this day and age, what can you do? You can't depend on an employer. Security isn't there anymore. You can have a job today and it's gone tomorrow. So these are some of the factors that, we're forced with on a day to day, and
Yes.
which throws into that tailspin that you were referencing.
Yes. And that was one of the things that helped me really on this path. In 2008, um, I was able to um, pay a emergency, but swiftly after that, when the economic downturn came, I
Mm-hmm.
could not, I couldn't, $20 was, my household was in chaos,
Yeah.
you know. And so I learned after losing everything during that time, That's why I'm passionate about, money and credit management, really being able to hone in on those skills, and have the correct mindset. Just because I have $500 today doesn't mean I go and spend that $500 even within 30 days.
Exactly.
But how long can I keep it? Can I keep that $500 for a year? Can I keep it for, 2 years? How long can I keep that money and then cause it to grow?
Exactly.
And so in 2008, those were the things that I was dealing with. Not just the money, but then funneling down was the credit situation. I had, decent credit, but then because of everything that happened, um, I was then known as not having good credit. And so I was identified as such, and that bothered me,
Right.
because I wasn't a bad person. I had integrity, but I could not pay my bills
Right.
properly. And so that's why I'm very particular when I talk with individuals about their money, and about their credit. You're not your credit. I know there are a lot of people that say, I just want to be in the 700 club. That's great, but that 700 club does not identify you.
Right.
You can have your credit scores boosted through various methods. We're all aware of them, that are out here and have 700 credit scores but lack integrity.
Right.
I hate to say it like that, but it's true.
Yes, they have no idea, don't know what it's like to
Yeah.
struggle, don't know what it's like to lose everything or to be at ground zero. So when you hit ground zero and you have to really reconstruct your life after something like the 2008 spiral, after situations now with so many people still losing their jobs, and there are some people who hasn't been affected at all, even in that type of crises. So they go around and you see the frivolous and being there myself, like on more than one occasion, like it's a whirlwind right now, especially starting a business and things happen. So you have to be prepared, and even in preparation, the bottom can fall out. So
Right.
how are you going to be graced then? Are you going to continue to fight the fight? Are you going to pick up the pieces, continue to soar in that, or are you going to give in and concede to do something different? So you have to really know what your why is, even though the world around you may be crashing. You have to see with the vision of the unseen. So you are 100% correct. Your life changes once you hit ground zero. And when you look around and you're not that person, I do have integrity. I've paid my bills. I love paying my bills. We'll look forward to that. But when that day comes and you cannot do it, it just does something to you on the inside.
Yeah.
It does. And that's what you really should be focusing on. What am I feeling like and how can this be corrected? It's not about that 700 score. You get there because you work your butt off after
Right.
you know what it feels like to be at ground zero and build it back up. That's what you look like.
Exactly.
That's definitive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on the flip side of that, I try to relay to people, um, no, you're not your score. That 700 is wonderful. It's great. But if you're not there, that does not truly identify you.
Right.
But at the same time, if your credit score starts with 3, 4, 5, or 6, that still doesn't identify you. Um, are there some things that may need to be tweaked? Absolutely. But one thing that I really became frustrated because, people would look at my credit score, to approve me or disapprove me for things. And I said, but that's not me. That's not me. That's a number on a piece of paper, and
Yeah.
that is not me. And that became very frustrating for me, because, like you said, I wanted to pay my bills. I wanted, to prove my integrity.
Right.
And so, a lot of the things that I do because I want to empower the consumer. A lot of the things that I've learned, tricks and, just bits and pieces of information, having been in the mortgage business for 20 years, from beginning to end, closing loans and home retention and things of that nature. I want to be able to provide that insider trading information to the
Yeah.
consumer, because we deserve it. We deserve it. We deserve to be empowered. We deserve to be educated. And, there are things that we can do. Now, can we mitigate every single loss? Maybe not. But can we, really knock a dent into it? Absolutely.
Sure thing.
And so I'm really focused at this point on really building up, consumers and making sure they are empowered and they are able to win, in their financial situations.
I
So,
can
yeah.
agree with that. And it's going to take some restoring of, like you said, doing the work to get this done. Also, doing the work to reset your mindset. That's going to take some sculpting after being bruised and after failing and after having to pick up the pieces. And on some occasions for people, there is more than one time. It's happened several times, and it makes you tough around the edges. Although, you start second guessing yourself and questioning, well, how did I get here? How did this happen again? Again, Life University is real. It is
Mhm.
real, and it's all about how you stand up and take ownership, accept what happens in your life. It's not to hold you down, it's just to teach you something. So
Right.
either you get it every time you fall, or you learn from it from that first fall so you can manipulate and get around it moving forward. And that's just how things go. And it's okay. Fall until you get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get
Absolutely.
tired, you'll stay strong, you'll stand up and stay firm, you know. So thanks to everybody who's been in and out of, you know, the room with us. It's great that you have. So we're just trying to keep the course of conversation going. We're not ignoring you at all. We know you're out there and we appreciate you dearly. And for those of you who may come on later, just put hashtag and say replay, all of that. But like I said, go nuts with that like button because these are um, juicy tidbits that can really redirect your life. And all it takes is one situation to tailspin you in a place that you do not want to be. That's all I'll say about that. And being conscious of every move that you make, big and small. It I can't say it enough, being an example, because I tell you right now, I do not look like my circumstances before, presently, and even if something happens in the future, but it doesn't stop me from smiling. As Karina was saying, it's not my identity. It does not define me by far, and crises is a part of life, and it's living out those nine fruits. And 5, 22, and 23, understand those and know for sure what's going on and why. So that's what I'll say about that. I think for whatever reason, Karina has left the room and I don't even know what happened here. Hi, Chanel Riles. Leaks. I see you out there. I'm going to hit some waves here. Hopefully, Karina can come back in. Let's see if I can get her back in here. I don't know what happened. Thank you for your patience. It's been one fluke of a night. I don't know.
We have fought tooth and nail on this,
I
sister.
I don't know why it is. All we just want to have is a nice little communion conversation, share it with
That's right.
everyone. I mean, we all
Just
need some nuggets.
there, change some mindsets here and there.
It doesn't even matter. We're gonna still continue to talk. I don't care.
That's
It's just
right.
you and I. Who cares? Because
There will
it's
be replay.
necessary. We have to keep this thing going.
Yes.
Doesn't matter at all. So, hi, Patience. Thank you for coming in. We just don't know what to say about this night other than it's fabulous. How about that? I want to say it's fabulous and on top. But if there is any questions that you have out there, definitely don't hesitate to ask. And, we're not going to come on here and hang out all night. However, it's just one of those things that me being the conscious coach and then Karina being a money and credit coach, it's just a grand idea. Meeting so many coaches on a day-to-day basis and bringing them in one at a time. And there are going to be times when I bring several at a time. That's going to be interesting to see. If we're having a night like this, try bringing 3 or 4 in at the same time. And I'm promising you, I will make attempts to do it.
Right. We will not be stopped.
No, this train don't stop easy. So, so with that said, Karina, is there anything else you would like to add? I definitely want you to share what your contacts are. And Sparrows, if you want to reach out to Karina, definitely do so. But I am implementing, Sparrow coupons for anyone who may be interested in working with her. So definitely reach out to me in order to get the coupon so she can honor that for you, because all we care about is making sure that you restructure your life and gather some peace back into it, because nothing disrupts your peace more than anything to not have money.
Yes.
And not have enough money, and figuring out how you're going to get some more money. And it revolves around so much, so much. And, what can you do? We have to have that in order to take care of our necessities. It's that type of a thing, but it can definitely disrupt your peace. And I know I'm always looking for ways of making more money. I don't know about you, Karina, considering, we both walked that same journey. How many times can you lose everything? Ground zero, you fall face down, then it's no other way to go back around is up. Go full circle. Just rebuild and rebuild until you can't rebuild. It's nothing crazy about that. It's nothing embarrassing about that. You take the good with the bad. That's what life consists of within a nutshell. But I'm here for you. Karina's definitely here for you. And you know how to reach me because you're on my page. You're already here at home. However, Karina, she's got to take her little cell phone back over to Virginia. But it's just been a joy to speak with you. And it was flying by the cup. We lost about 25 minutes, but that's okay. We can do what we want. It's Facebook Live.
Well, I do want to say, we really have to begin to look at things a little bit differently. One thing that you talked about, Valerie, was, obtaining that peace.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I realized about myself was I would leave home, go to work, be stressed out at work because I had to perform, only to, wait patiently to get back home and not have peace at home, where my mindset is once I hit that threshold,
Yes.
I should have peace.
Right.
But I didn't have that peace because I had a stack of mail
waiting for you.
Waiting, and there would be times where I wouldn't check the mailbox because I was afraid of what was there. And I didn't want to face that. And in my mind, if I didn't confront it, it was not real.
Right.
And so a lot of times we have to get out of those mindsets, because my belief is you can't control anything outside of your front door.
No.
Thing within your front door, that is under your control. And when you walk into that front door, into your home, you have a right and the authority to have peace in your home.
Exactly.
And so that is one of my driving forces as well. I believe in everyone having peace when they come home. And when you don't have peace, it can filter over into a marriage.
Yes.
It can filter over into relationships with your children.
Yeah.
Just all types of things. eating too much, not eating enough,
Right.
losing weight, gaining weight,
Right.
not sleeping, hair loss, just, moodiness. It can be so many different things that it affects and we don't realize it. Um, just having a negative outlook on life because it's been hit after hit after hit after hit.
Right.
And so, you know, um, as you guys are reaching out to me, I want to encourage you first, please go to Valerie because she has those coupons. We want to make sure we follow protocol. And the protocol that we have set is that you go to Valerie, she will provide that discount for you, and then I will get you set up. Again, that is a mindset change.
Right.
you know,
Follow
let's
the rules. We have them in place for purpose. And the
yeah,
whole point of the Sparrow coupons is it's a grand gesture of thank you.
yes.
Thank you for participating tonight. Thank you for being honest with yourself. Thank you for taking the necessary steps to connect with the right people to get you where you need to be to bring about peace in your life. Thank you for loving yourself enough to invest in yourself because it's going to take some conscious effort to do that. So, just like Karena was saying, all of those factors that she pointed out, that having lack of money and what it does to you as an overall person, it destroys lives. It destroys the people that are closest to you, and even more so, it disrupts you. You crash and you burn. When your attitude changes and you are to the point to where you're snapping on a spouse or your significant other, the children just can't get anything right. And it's all because of money matters. It's
Mm-hmm.
money matters. You can't sleep. Your hair do fall out. Oh my goodness. You start losing tons of weight overnight. You're not eating properly. You're not sleeping well. Your day flows at work not well. So what are you going to do now? You need to talk to somebody. And all those points that she pointed out, I have clients that have done that very thing and not even aware of why they've gained 40 pounds in a year,
Mm-hmm.
why they can't sleep, and they're on this pack that they have to sleep on because they're afraid to go to sleep, and it's a number of things. My attitude stinks, my husband's going to leave me if I don't get it together. And I said, okay, take me back to the day before you start feeling all this. So as we start unlayering things, it gets down to money. It gets down to whatever happened in their life in a relationship past 20
Mm-hmm.
years ago. But you're still holding on to things, not letting things go, not knowing how to function within relationships, not knowing how to eat properly, eating out all the time, as Karena mentioned, all the time. I know I was guilty of that. And my mindset at the time was, hey, it's just me. It's cheaper for me to eat out than to cook. Lies. That is not true. It's not true at all. It was just me being out and lazy and not wanting to cook. However, knowing that I was raised on cooking, I wanted to be a chef once upon a time. I love cooking. The thing is, who wants to cook for just me? So I had to learn how to cook for just myself, put some things in the freezer, store for a rainy day, and then start spending wisely. But even in that wisdom, things happen in life that will catapult and then take you right back to ground zero. But having a strong mindset and knowing the processes of always rebuilding, then you won't fall so hard next time. You won't fall as far next time because you will implement the strategies that you've learned. And it's only so much, I can go all day with processes, of how to go about negotiating money matters. However, it's not my specialty. So that's the whole point of having a coach to coach from a different world come in periodically. So I can connect you with people that can help you in certain situations, such as relationships, such as credit, such as, I don't know, a trainer to get your body in shape. Now, I can get you so far. Now, when all that other stuff needs to be tightened, I'm going to refer you to a personal trainer. And so I can get you to that number, that magic number. But other than that, that's about the gist. That's about the gist. But definitely reach out, get your coupon if you are interested in connecting with Karena. I strongly suggest that you do if you're just trying to rebuild, if you're trying to even get ahead. It's not about always being in a crisis, it's
Right.
maintaining.
Right.
Also, learning different ways of making more money on top of what you have. So you do have a nest egg. You can move forward and grow what you have. So let's not get so comfortable to where we got it like that, and then that day happens, and then it's now after the fact, and you've taken a loss. So that's it. And the whole point of this is to do a side by side and say, hey, this is what's happening. This is how I need to look at it. I am going to take the proper steps and call it a day. But these are steps such as this is going to restore your peace, which is actually the challenge for this month for TVM, BUB Fabulous Challenge for September. So it's restoring your peace, picking the top 4 or 5 things for the month, choosing the toughest first, which is today is day 5 of the first week, and then strategizing how you can get to resolve that piece back into your life by the end of the week. So Saturday is going to be our target day for post. So then you do the same thing. It gets easier and easier. You do it once, then you can do it twice. You do it twice, you can do it 3 times. You do 3 times, and you have now gotten through the entire month of September. So why would you not do this to better yourself? Why would you not? So, Karena, if you want to go ahead and share what your contact is.
Awesome. I do. So I can be reached at www.warkry.com. That's WARKRY.com. And on there, I just want to give you that one website, because once you jump onto that website, you'll get everything else: email address, phone number. If you want to schedule an appointment with me, any other things that we have going on. I have credit and money coaching packages available, very reasonable. I do coach individuals, which means I don't just provide an analysis. I actually work with individuals for periods of time to help them through. Sometimes you need that person that can see where you're trying to go or where you need to go and help you get there.
Yes.
To really push you and motivate you to get where you need to go. And so www.warkry.com, very simple. Jump on there. And I actually also, for you business owners that are out there, I also help business owners, startups, build their business credit as well.
Great. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, so that it's not linked to your social security number. Um, this is just information that a lot of times, specifically our community, does not know about. And, we start a business, we get a logo, we get a website, we get a name, and we think we have a business, and not the case. And so we don't form that business properly. And so I coach individuals on how to really begin to form that business properly so that they are lendable. So that they don't have to have that loan that is linked to their own social security number, or provide a personal guarantee. If for whatever reason that business does not flourish and it fails, then you don't have to worry about that liability hitting your personal portfolio. And so I'm really big on that, separating those two out, having your personal portfolio and having your business portfolio. And so I teach on how to actually build that out from beginning to end.
And it's necessary to do. It really is. I know I have an LLC because TVM, this is just, I'm doing business as. My company name is Visions LLC. So that's where the umbrella is. And you are definitely correct. I didn't want to have my social security number attached to anything, just in case. You just don't want that, somebody try and sue you and all of those types of shenanigans. So no, that's not my life. So I don't want that happening, due to business association. But you are definitely correct. Again, there's so many things that just aren't taught. And then it's just like you're flailing through life and trying to figure it out along the way. And then you're not always figuring it out the correct way. So
Right.
to have some type of a platform where you can go and get the direction needed so you can set your business up correct the first time.
And it's very much needed. Um, Again, if you go to my website, there's I have a webinar, a free webinar coming up on September 18th, and that gives you the basics, the ground level of building out that business credit, what you need to have in place. But then I also have a boot camp coming up in October. It's a 3-week session,
Nice.
and that goes a lot more. It's a lot deeper to actually getting to business credit monitoring and actually building out those credit lines. And so there's a monetary value to that, but for the webinar this month, it is no cost because that is just information that I want to be able to give out. But these things are very much needed, you know.
It is. It is. And I thank you for that. If, anytime you can give back, it's a wonderful thing. And same applies here. This entire year, I've been doing challenges every month since January the 1st. And has it worn a girl out? Absolutely. However, it's worth it in the end. And it's different things that you can do every single day that pushes you to greater. And that's just me putting together information, things that can be done every single month that makes you fabulous. Why would you not want to be a better person? Why wouldn't you want to make changes to have a more graceful and fulfilled life? It's just tweaking of very simplistic things, in all honesty, and it's going to go on until the end of the year. So there's only a few months left, and this one's already roller coaster fast. It's the 5th already. And so why would you not do that? And it's just one of those things. And then mentoring also on Tuesdays. I have that webinar every single Tuesday for all those people that are wondering, what is a conscious coach and how does it help me in my life? How does it help me in my career? How does it restore my faith? How does it bridge relationships? It does all of that, because without your mindset being correct and knowing who you are, how you're constructed, if you can't figure that out on your own, then you never live fully in life. You don't. You'll keep making the same mistakes. But until that alignment takes place, and in reality, your conscious is your spirit. We all have one. Tap into yours. And when you know more about yours, and you know how to finagle and, move according in your life, it's a birthright gift.
Yes.
And who does not want that in their lives? You wonder why you are not happy to go to work on Monday mornings. And everybody is so much, it's Monday again. I wake up whistling on Mondays. The thing is, because I've always walked the course, but when taking the leap, it was a scary leap. And it's really tough to build business. It's not a roll out the red carpet type of a feat. It takes a lot of sacrifice. Yes. Are you willing to give up all of the fluffy in your life to do this? Are you that determined? Can you persevere when everything starts falling apart? These are things that you have to be able to have a very strong mindset to do.
Right.
You have to have that mindset. So with giving all of these freebies away in the monthly challenges, being a mentor to different people, whoever wants to participate, is open every Tuesday at 11 o'clock Eastern. All you got to do is get my ID in Zoom. I will put it out there. Just show up at 11 o'clock. Now, I'll give you some 15 minutes. Now, if nobody shows up in 15 minutes, I log out. That's how I do it, because I just put that time back in my day. However, if one person shows up, they get absolutely all of my attention. Yeah. And when you can have me on a mentor basis versus paying my fees to come in as a client, that's a different walk in the park. It's a total different walk in the park. And who would not want to take advantage of something that's so vital, that can, resculpt you? It can prune you into the direction you need to be in life. And, I find it to be the most jovial thing to be able to give back to somebody and see them flourish in a space. And all they needed was a little bit of direction and guidance. That's it.
Right.
Somebody to listen and just
Yeah.
give them what is needed. However, that's about the gist. As far as, contacting me, if you're my friend on Facebook, and you're already here, dear. Other than that, there's Instagram, tvm.217. There is Instagram, which I just said, Twitter, which I hardly ever use, tvm0217. And also, you'll find me more than anywhere else on LinkedIn. That's where I am most of the time. I do not recall what that is, and I will have to put it somewhere in this video. But outside of that, it's all about networking. It's about doing what needs to be done. It's about taking ownership of your mess and make it amazing. And only you can do that by making that one decision to invest in yourself. And whatever your picture looks like, whatever it's going to take for you to restore peace, do that. Don't be embarrassed. Don't feel like it's the end of the world. Just do it. Get it done. Karena, my voice is going out again. I keep talking myself tired, but it's okay. It's good stuff. And
It is.
I appreciate everyone coming out. Like I said, for all of you who have been on and off through this chaos and shenanigans of a night, it has truly been a Wisdom Wednesday. And it's been coach to coach from a different world with Karena Calhoun. And, I see some of you have been in and out of the room. I know it's just so unorthodox tonight. Trust me, it'll get better. But I think these are the best times when they're the right.
They are. They definitely are.
Uh-huh. But for all of you who missed all of the grand gestures of the in and out and ending the lives and having to do it again, this is the third time. You're catching the third round. So if this is the replay, I don't think I'm going to be putting the other two up. It doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm just going to just put this one up, and however it is, it just is. It just is. Be conscious. Be right now. We live in the now. Accept it. And you sit back here. This is that book of mine, and how to become fabulous. And we all become fabulous in our own ways. And just knowing that and loving on yourself and forgiving yourself and being strong and focused on where you're going in life. Just do it. Karena, please chime in at any time, because I'm going to wrap this thing up in a bow and we're going to get out of here. It's too much to talk about.
I just wanted to just briefly encourage everyone. This has really, really just been in my heart recently, to encourage you that whatever the plan is that you have before you, whatever that journey is, don't worry about someone not having done it prior to you. Don't worry about, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about will my family and friends support me? Don't worry about any of that. One thing that has really been in my heart that I've really been pushing recently is that you are the blueprint.
Yes.
You don't have to go and look for a blueprint. You are the blueprint, because your journey, your destiny, your purpose may not have been seen just yet. And so because of that, you may need to just push a little bit harder, push a little bit differently, so that that purpose and that destiny can come out. And no one else may not have seen it before. They may not have seen it before.
You haven't seen it before. You haven't gotten there yet. You've got to go through all the crises to get there.
So don't worry about, somebody saying, oh, you can't do that. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, whatever the case may be. Don't worry about that. Just do it. Just do it. You are your own blueprint.
Yeah. And it's not something that we've heard.
Yeah.
Live that. on more than one occasion. Got some butterfly flutters right now. It's things that take place, but you know, it only stretches us. If you're not being stretched, you're not doing something. You're not doing something because life is definitely not comfortable. That is
And so,
what is not.
right. And so with that, a couple of things come to my mind. And that is, um, and I heard this, I saw this quote by Teddy Roosevelt, and it says that um, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And so, you know, don't try to compare yourself. Don't try to compare yourself. And then I say that comparison equals death. It's, you can evaluate and um, really strategize, but don't compare yourself.
Never.
Whoever's listening, don't compare yourself because you are the blueprint. If you try to compare yourself, it's not going to equal out.
Never.
Their way or whomever's way is going to be different. It's not going to be the way you're going to have to do it. So, don't worry about that comparison. Please don't get caught up in that. Be okay with your journey. Be okay with your journey. That is so very important, so very vital right now. I see a lot of times people post their frustrations on social media and they
Oh,
say,
yeah.
friends don't support me. It's okay. They're probably not your audience. It's okay.
And we're also on different levels. You know, when your elevation is milestones and we all grow differently, and you are your brand. Brand
Yeah.
yourself. Stop following other people and putting your whole heart and soul into somebody else. That's where disappointments come from. That's where these social media statuses come from. It's not about what somebody else think. When you
Right.
care about how you feel about yourself and who your higher power is, that's all that matters. And be responsible for you. Accept yourself for who you are and get to know who you are. Live your life according to that. And like you said, that is the blueprint. Write it down. Talk to yourself. Record it. There are some things that you sometimes just journal. Whatever happened to that? I mean, I use journals as a part of my prerequisite for my programs. You are not going to come work with me and think you're not journaling,
Right.
because that's my way of teaching you to fish. You can always go back to what you've written about that day, about what the problem is that we're trying to correct. And then you can always go back. It's a date and time. Turn on the inside of yourself.
Yeah.
Brand you, live your life according. That's the whole point of TVM, the Valerie Miller. It's only one me. Tons of Valerie Millers out here in the world. This one, it's just one. And I'm sure a lot
And
of
and
people will
that
agree with
that to the last thing that I wanted to really just point out, and that is, provided you're not hurting anyone, physically, emotionally, spiritually,
that. Exactly.
don't ask for permission.
Mm-mm.
Stop asking for permission. Don't ask.
Yes.
Just go and do and be okay with that.
Yes.
Don't ask permission. Sometimes you just have to go back and say, listen, I just need you to forgive me that, I went on and, conquered, whatever. But, don't ask for permission.
No,
Not all things need permission,
none. If
you
you
know?
really delve into it, if you're in alignment with yourself, who are you asking permission for other than yourself?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
take responsibility, accept, move forward. Be you and be fabulous. I can't say it enough. Rock and soar, Sparrow. You have to encourage yourself. Speak over yourself. Yolanda Adams says it best. Listen to that track on YouTube if you don't have a copy already. You speak over yourself. You do what you have to do for you. This is your journey, not yours and your cousins, your parents, your friends. This is your journey. And it's up to you to leave your blue mark and how you leave your dash in this world, because we
Yeah.
all have a birth date. We all have an expiration. That's it. It's all about what you do in the middle of that dash.
Right.
It's the truth. And, accept. I can't say it enough. Accept. Give yourself accolades. You don't need it from somebody else. Do something different. Push yourself to greater every day in everything, always. And when you're doing that, you're so much better off. You're so much better off. You can find joy and peace within yourself. And at the end of the day, that's all that's necessary. We came in here alone, we're going to leave alone. So look at it from that aspect. We don't know how much time we have left on
Right.
earth. So why would you waste any time trying to be something you're not?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Nobody's going to sit here and talk to you all night, Karena. We've shared we've shared information. We got started late and now we got all excited and just want to carry on. And it's such a beautiful thing. And I know, we probably should delve a little bit more as far as the business side of things. We'll just get some feedback and see if there's anybody who's interested in it. But it's always something we can do at a later date. And I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight, having a TVM experience.
Yes.
And then we had an experience also. But it's okay. It was all necessary. We had to get our feet wet somehow. It's Wisdom Wednesday. And and part of that is just roll with it. Ride the wave and always smile. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
knows what's going on behind the smile unless they share it. That's pretty much it. Is there
Absolutely.
anything else you want to share though before we sign off?
I don't think so. I think that's it. We'll save more for later.
We'll save more for later. And I'm going to say thank you to all the sparrows out here. I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea how much I sincerely love each and every one of you. No matter what I'm doing, you're supportive. I pop on here and there. You're always right there with smiles and support and love and hugs. And I'm going to just boomerang all of that right back to you. For all of you who didn't see the original shenanigans for Wisdom Wednesday. I just absolutely love drama when it comes to things that you can laugh about. If you can't laugh at yourself and all of the faux pas, then what can you really laugh about? I'm probably going to be on the floor rolling when this is over and I hit that finish button. But at the same time, expect a call, Karena, because we're going to chuckle together. And
Okay.
I just don't. I can't express enough the gratitude that I have for each and one of you. I sincerely love my sparrows. I can't say it enough. So go prosper and soar high. Push yourself to greater. Do whatever you need to do this month and beyond to restore your peace. It's vital. Your life is depending on it. And it's also unlayering the beauty of who you are. And eventually you will have a face-to-face introduction of who you have become because of your graciousness and your obedience and doing the work to reach the status of who you authentically are. And as always, in signing off, I'm going to say love without conditions, always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Smooches. Thank you, Karena.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao. Bye. Thanks, Sparrows.